What does that mean to you, Black History Month?
It means that that's racism because they don't celebrate White History Month. We don't have it. I'm part Italian. I don't have Italian History Month. So what I think it's doing is perpetuating what this divide is in our nation, quite honestly, because I don't feel like that should be highlighted. I don't think that they should be pushing their agenda on myself because I'm a straight male, I have a wife, and I have children. I don't think that I should have to be bombarded and brainwashed through media, through those months or Pride, Black History. I don't think that's something that should be, dictated to me.
Is it a learning opportunity?
Not at all, because when I was in school, we learned, certain Black leaders, things like that. I don't need to hear it every single year for a whole month.
Front, they are a white supremacist militia, and they marched through Kansas City yesterday. While I have your attention, I want to warn you about sheriff posses. But it's not just a Wild West trope. They are in existence now, and they are a danger that no one is talking about. In rural Klickitat County, Sheriff Bob Songer, who has drawn national attention for his belief that sheriffs have the constitutional authority to decide which laws they will enforce, has been building a posse of volunteers nearly 10 times larger than the number of deputies. The posse is accountable to Songer alone, and he has warned that if the federal or state government tried to confiscate civilian firearms, he would use the posse to fight back. The posse has drawn concerns from residents worried about Songer's association with far-right movements. Songer is a central figure in the constitutional sheriff's movement, founded on the theory that county sheriffs have the authority to decide which state or federal laws they can enforce. He has publicly refused to enforce gun control laws and pandemic-era health rules. Songer has warned he would call upon the posse to help him fight back. A hypothetical showdown he once compared to the Bundy family standoffs in Nevada and Oregon. I would call upon the citizens of the county, not just the posse, and I would deputize them.
But God is absent from the media's message or Black Lives Matter. And if we can't handle you, you know what I'll do? I'll exercise the power and authority as a sheriff, and I'll make special deputies of every lawful gun owner in this county. And I'll deputize them for this one purpose, to stand in the gap between lawlessness and civility. That's what we're sworn to do, and that's what we're gonna do. You've been warned.
Elsewhere, sheriffs have occasionally used posses for explicitly political purposes. In Virginia, federal prosecutors indicted a constitutional sheriff for allegedly accepting $70,000 in campaign contributions in exchange for making donors part of his volunteer auxiliary and providing access to firearms. Another branch of Maricopa County's posse, which once boasted as many as 3,000 members, took part in Arpaio's trademark hunt for undocumented immigrants, including participating in traffic stops, worksite raids, and crowd control operations. The most obvious opportunity for the posse to act as enforcers for Songer's political beliefs came during two Black Lives Matter protests. Songer refers to the Black Lives Matter movement as a source of domestic terrorism. He told Investigative West he deployed armed posse members to keep an eye on the protests and intervene in the event of rioting. Armed posses under the control of these constitutional sheriffs, which are really just MAGA sheriffs. Back in 2011, these posses were raiding work sites. They were setting up immigration checkpoints. Guess what? The Del Norte County Sheriff's Posse led Trump's inauguration parade on horseback.
The Golden State.
The friendships I have with the sheriffs up and down this valley, it's very deep. And to show President Trump that California sheriffs support him.
This regime is fully aware of the power and the loose laws surrounding these posses. There is a high probability that sheriff's posses are involved in all this immigration BS. These posses will play a central role as part of Trump's brown shirts.
You've been warned. You've been warned. You've been warned.
If a Nazi sits down to eat dinner with 9 other people, and you have 10 Nazis eating dinner together, I feel like this is a good time for me to reiterate my position on this, and that is zero fucking tolerance for these people. In fact, I believe that a main reason why we're in this mess is because we have been too tolerant for too long of this bullshit, all right? Shit, I won't even have dinner or fucking talk to my own family because of this, so fuck every one of them. And I'm not in any way ever trying to fucking bring any one of them over to our fucking side. We don't need that shit. What we need is for the people that have been disengaged for so long to wake the fuck up and start participating. And maybe if there's a small percentage of people that fucking voted for that orange clown that were just too fucking stupid or got tricked, whatever. You going to change your mind? Fine. But if you fucking believe in all this shit and you're a racist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, fucking immigrant hating motherfucker, there is no place and zero tolerance for you. If anybody's telling you that we got to make nice with these fucking people just to bring them over to get their votes, they're fucking full of shit. Zero tolerance for Nazis.
Do you you know about the disturbing backstory of George Washington's teeth? Well, by the time he became president, Washington only had one natural tooth left that would slide into his dentures right here. And the false teeth in these dentures was a collection of sanded down cow and horse teeth, as well as human teeth that he purchased and extracted from enslaved people. And these dentures inflamed his mouth so badly that his jaw became deformed, which is partially why he was never seen or painted smiling.
Well, this isn't good, y'all. ICE has now signed over 506 agreements across 38 states deputizing civilians to act as immigration agents. Let that sink in for a minute. Your neighbor, your local deputy, maybe even your supermarket security guard, now given power to detain and question people like a fucking ICE agent. No serious training, no real oversight, just power handed out like it's candy. This is about to get crazy.
Who you are, but to see someone hurt and their business fail and their family be affected because they didn't vote the way you did, it's fucked up. I'm sorry, a lot of you are fucked up. I'm sorry. We should all care about each other regardless of who.
Okay, so I've tagged, I'll call you Mr. Patriot. I've tagged Mr. Patriot below if you want to go watch the full video. A little bit of background. He's really angry because he's about to lose his business, and his family's going to lose everything because of Trump's decisions. And he's admitting that he voted for Trump and he didn't believe that this was how it was going to turn out. And in this video that I'm commenting on, he's preaching and condemning Democrats who are in his comment section, telling us what awful bad people we are for wishing badly on other people, that we should all support each other no matter who we voted for. Very preachy. All right, so Mr. Patriot, this is directed at you. I just want to explain something. In my unprofessional opinion, there's one of two things going on. You're either a narcissist who's gaslighting everybody, or you're in a cult, you were part of a hate cult, you're still under the command of cult-like thinking, and you don't recognize just how bad and evil and hateful your movement is yet, that your brain was hijacked. It's one of those two things for you to fire up your video with your full chest and tell everybody we shouldn't be wishing ill on anyone else. See, what you for some reason cannot understand is that for 8 years, more than half of America has been fighting your hate cult movement led by Donald Trump and the Project 2025 sycophants. The entire rise of Trumpism is built on demonizing groups of people, harming them socially, harming them economically, harming them through legislation. Let's just start with one little example. When the man you voted for on live TV accused a hard-working group of Haitians in a small town in Ohio of eating cats and dogs. What that did to that group of people, what your folks that you aligned with did to those group of people was sick. It was disgusting. And you didn't seem to care then. Where was your pontificating and preaching back then to your own followers, to your fellow Trump voters? Did you tell them they shouldn't be wishing ill on any other groups of people? If you really think that this is about deportation and then bringing people back in legally, you're sadly mistaken, as you, I'm sure, know. An entire group of people with brown skin have been dehumanized. They've been demonized. They cannot walk safely from point A to point B. They're spoken to as if they're dirt, as if they're vile. You didn't seem to care when that whole group of people were being attacked. Should we get into women, young women, and their right to control their body, especially if they're the victims of incest or rape? What about that group of people that were harmed by your movement, voting for the people you voted for? And then let's talk about our LGBTQ brethren especially the kids, our gay kids, our trans kids, the harm. I can't even tell you. You have no concept of what you and your vote did to that group of kids. You have no idea. They have been pushed back in the closet. They are suicidal. They're suffering from severe depression and anxiety. They are being bullied because your movement created an environment where those kids could get officially bullied and nobody would be punished for it. And if you show care to them, if you're a teacher that shows care to them, you're fired. You voted for that. What about that group of people, those LGBTQ kids? And you're going to get on here and tell us we shouldn't wish ill on anyone? Listen, we shouldn't wish ill on anyone. But don't you dare come on here and preach to anybody. Preach to the people who've been fighting for our fellow humans against the people you voted for. You're the one that doesn't care about other groups of people. You are the one that voted to see groups of people harmed by Trump fulfilling all of his promises. You are the one that did that. I don't know. Are you a narcissist that's gaslighting? Or have you not awoken yet that you got roped in? You allowed yourself to get roped into a hate cult. One or the other, buddy.
You know why ICE is wearing bandanas, hats, and sunglasses instead of uniforms, badges, and showing their faces? It's really simple. Because the church, the government, is about to start deploying their Department of White Supremacists to do martial law and go around doing that to people like you and me. So that on a Tuesday, when your cousin, brother, sister, anyone, coworker is snatched, grabbed, kidnapped, and their rights are stripped, their phones are taken, and no one knows where they went, it's normalized. That's why. This is exactly like World War II and the Holocaust. This is the exact same thing. And if you're not sure about that, all you have to do is take the Project 2025 document and drop it into ChatGPT. Ask it how it affects you. Anyone that goes along with this, I'm sorry, your soul's already caught on fire.
Did you know that the word MAGA translates to many different things in other languages? For example, in Japanese, it means wickedness, evil, calamity, and disaster. It is a slang word in Nigeria meaning sucker, fraud victim, or easily fooled idiot. It means lies in Zulu. This word means dragon in Sudanese. It also translates to witch in Latin. MAGA is the name of the highest rank in the Church of Satan. It means swelling or inflamed in Filipino. MAGA can be translated to many different things in many different languages. I think it's kind of telling, don't you?
Comrades, it looks like the police do not want us here anymore, and they're going to cut our power off. So we're going to end the day with a little Asada Shakur chant that I like to do whenever I'm done protesting, and all I need y'all to do is just repeat after me. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chain. Now repeat after me. I am a revolutionary. Say it again. I am a revolutionary. I am not the pig.
He used to this. They got been together 500 years.
Check your camera. What you say? Check my vehicle.
I think you're a thief.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you a bitch. How about that?
No one will ever be able to convince me that this genetic mutated group of humans are born with a soul. The white humans who are exceptional, I'm pretty sure they have something in their DNA. And yes, I know a lot of good white humans, but most of them have something a little sprinkled down the line from generations ago. USA is proof that the genetic mutated group of humans are not born with a soul. This country could be literally what we advertise it to be if white humans were good people and had souls. But it looks like they don't, because this country is perpetually in shit because of white humans. White humans make it stagnant. White humans keep it mediocre. White humans commit the most atrocities in this country, yet white humans don't hold other white humans accountable. And that's why I say you will never, ever be able to convince me that white humans are born with a soul. They were not born with a soul.
I've had quite a few people tell me that they were surprised that I didn't vote MAGA because a lot of Vietnamese people did. And I can't explain the ignorance. I don't get it myself. I don't understand any person of color at this point in the game that would still be voting for MAGA. If they referred to Chinese people as peasants, if they referred to COVID as the Kung Flu, if they called Puerto Rico garbage, but you see they make exemptions for anyone with pale white skin, even if they're an illegal immigrant. As long as they're from Europe, Russia, the UK, or somewhere where their skin is white, you notice we don't hear any derogatory terms for them. But if you're a person of color and you voted MAGA, what makes you think they're not going to use those same words or different words, derogatory words, to describe you just because you voted MAGA? Listen, if they would call Chinese people peasants, they're definitely going to call you names behind closed doors. If there's one thing that I've learned in life, that is, if a racist person is talking shit about one group of race in front of you, they're going to talk about you behind your back when you're not there. I have heard racist white people assume that because I'm Vietnamese and because I don't have an accent that I must have voted MAGA. And they are so arrogant that they start talking politics and how they voted for Trump right in front of me, and they have no idea that I am the complete opposite. They are so comfortable and cocky with their arrogance that they just assume. And the things that they say about other ethnicities in front of me, I'm just sitting there looking at them like, wow, the audacity. I had one white lady tell me the other day, well, at least you don't talk like they do. And she was referring to the Asian women that work in the nail salons that have very strong accents and usually speak in a different language. And when she said, well, at least you don't talk like they do, I guess she assumed that because I don't have an accent, that I'm just on her side immediately. But what she fails to realize is my mom has an accent. And even if my mom didn't have an accent, in my mind, I'm thinking, if you're talking shit about those people, you're talking shit about me, okay? That's what you need to understand. If you're talking shit about any person of color, you're talking shit about me. So yeah, I take it very personally. And why the hell would I vote for a party that refers to COVID as the Kung Flu and would refer to Chinese people as peasants? I would have to be a complete moron to do that. So that's the only thing I can think of why other Vietnamese people may have voted MAGA, is they are complete morons too. And they are just blind and dumb, and for some reason, I don't know why they think Trump would have their back. They would be the first ones to be deported after blacks, Hispanics, and Latinos. It's Asians next. You guys are on the chopping block too. I don't know why you think you're exempt. I just can't, I don't understand the stupidity. If someone can enlighten me, I'd love to know.
Is anyone else convinced that the only reason we can't have good social safety programs in the United States, like a good social healthcare system and a good safety net system, is because of the bunch of white people who are racist? And here's what I mean. I am convinced that if you could tell the racists that only white people would get food stamps and universal healthcare and universal basic income, they would all vote for it. The only reason they don't want to vote for it is because they're afraid that black people and people of color might get it. And I can prove it. Look at back in the day, there used to be public pools in almost every town in the South. No matter how big or small the town was, they used to have a public pool. And then after the Civil Rights Act, they had to start letting people of color into their public pools. And white people decided they would rather fill the pools with concrete and let nobody swim than have to swim with black people. And I'm convinced the same thing happens with our social safety net. These people would rather suffer themselves than help black people too. I am so convinced this is why this country is so fucked.
Austerity that they do fight for the life of our nation. Lord! For the liberty of our people. Liberty!
With everything that's going on, it's going to destroy what little trust there is between white people and non-white people. I have spent my life trying to build a relationship with the black community, and I have several friends that are black, and but it's getting to the point to where our races aren't going to be able to trust one another. And it's going to cause even a deeper division. This is why I hate being white. This is why I'm ashamed to be white. I have been speaking out and talking. I've been trying to show a different side to non-white people. Showing them, I find videos that show black people as they are, that show Hispanic people as they are. Valid, viable, intelligent people who love their families and who take care of their kids. I have tried to post videos I have found of black people and white people being together and getting along and talking because I believe that's real. But it's going to get harder to do. There's going to be a lot of mistrust, and I can't blame them. I can't blame non-white people. I don't feel this way about non-white people. This is the part that I hate. This is the part that I'm ashamed of. Because when I meet a black person, the first thing they're going to look at me as is, this guy's white. Is he going to be as dangerous as others? There are a lot of dangerous, idiotic, but dangerous racists out there. And they're going to have to figure out if I'm one of them or not. But at the same time, how can you trust that with everything that's going on? How can you trust that? There are people that tell me that I shouldn't be ashamed. I am very ashamed. I am very ashamed. They're taking back race relations hundreds of years. The South is trying to resegregate. I've been to the South. Tennessee, Georgia, beautiful areas. Lots of lush green. There's a lot of non-white people there. And it's going to get to the point to where I just posted a video of ICE separating people, separating families in Nashville. It won't be long that they're going to be coming after you and I because we're speaking out against it. if they don't do something now, if they don't do something now, if they don't fucking do something now, there's things that are going to happen that they're not going to be able to fix. There's going to be things that happen that they're not going to be able to change. Not all white people want this. I don't want this. I have wanted so desperately for our races to get along. But I can't look at my race and trust them. I can't look at them and rely on them to do what's right. I can't. They're the ones doing things that's wrong. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. There are white people that want more from our relationship than this. I don't need to belittle, desegregate, or destroy anyone of a different skin color so I can feel superior, because that isn't superiority. You better do something, Democrats. You better do something. It's only going to get worse. They're already arresting judges. When is it they're going to start arresting congresspeople, senators, people that we voted to protect us? We should have never let this get this far. We never should have let this get this far. Many of us didn't. I know black women didn't. I know black women didn't. They stood up for their country. They stood up for us. Of course, then there's Latinos. I love Mr. Trump. I love Mr. Trump. Idiot. Idiot.
Hey everyone, my name is Clayton Bigsby. I'm here at the Trump Soup Store in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, to find out what is made in America. Let's go check it out. What? China. When I die, don't let me vote Democrat. Amigo. Made in Mexico. Guys, I found this great tank top right here. Fight, 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 Trump 24. It's made in Guatemala. I think I look good though. For all my Trump girls right here, this one is made in Nicaragua. Make America great again. To all the shooters out there, try again. Make America great again. You know who's home? Terrorists are home. Make America great again.
Made in China, made in China.
No, you gotta do it one at a time. No. Make America great again. Hey guys, Wyatt Bigsby here. After doing some looking around in my Trump mega store, I found out there was 0 items made in America. Make America great again, right?
What's this little racist manling have to say? Incels are coming in hot and heavy. Boy, I don't know if you know this, but if you look up excellence in the dictionary, they just give you a black woman as an example. Throughout history and to this day, black women have been the definitive example of excellence in almost every metric, without any recognition. They are the most educated demographic of women in the United States. They are currently the most likely demographic to become entrepreneurs. And they are consistently outperforming all expectations within leadership roles. And that's just them right now. We know presently and historically black women have been the pillars of their communities, both in the US and throughout the world. They carry the emotional burdens of their friends, their families, and their communities. It is literally a concept known as the strong black woman schema. They are the most politically active demographic in the country. And they always have been. And coupled with strength and resilience that they're so often stereotyped as having, one thing that is seemingly overlooked is they are basically the blueprint for the American beauty standard of women. The physical standards for beauty of women in the Western world are just the commonplace characteristics of the average black woman. These are the most intelligent, the strongest, the most resilient, the most beautiful women on earth. And to say nothing of the most underappreciated as well. If these women are the sky, you are the dirt under the dirt. Check your ego at the door of your mother's basement before you start talking. Stay mad, stay wrong, and stay beneath the queens you can't even look at.
I'm making this video because I voted for Trump. And a lot of my followers are Trump supporters. I just don't think we have the same Donald Trump that we had circa 2016 to 2020. This is not the same man. Somewhere along the way, he lost his way. To deny help to tornado victims. Then I heard he denied further assistance from FEMA to North Carolina. This is not the man we voted for.
He's still the same man. So Donald Trump, from the first election, denied aid to California based off of how the people voted. It wasn't until a person who was close to him within the administration said, yo, there are counties that voted for you, before he decided, okay, let me give them aid during these wildfires. Again, that was in the first term. He also, in the first term, withheld disaster relief funds to Puerto Rico. So he is the same guy. Also, to you, thank you for coming on here, and I appreciate you and I commend you for getting up on this app and saying, you know what, I was wrong about something, and that takes guts, and I'm really glad you did that. Anyways, my name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you, goodbye.
Wow, this might actually be one of the most repugnant comments I've ever gotten on a video, right? So just to clarify, you don't have that right here, like at all, like even a little bit. In fact, I'm pretty sure you don't have that right literally anywhere. But I'll tell you what, you go find that floating trash heap in the middle of the ocean, right? Go ahead, stake your claim there, and you are more than welcome to raise the psychotic, inbred, knuckle-dragging, hills have eyes, Sawney Bean type family that you so desperately desire, okay? And that way you can stay the hell away from the rest of us sane people.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're you know, technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
It would be great if you were a Trump supporter and you could watch this video. I'm an American, but I have white South African heritage. Both my parents immigrated to America. And Trump had a conversation with the South African president a few days ago. I just want to make everybody very well aware of what's going on. That he intentionally or not made a complete lie about the nature of many of these videos, but one of them in particular, the one of the crosses. He said that each cross represents a white farmer that died, when actually it was a protest against the death of farmers, of murders in general, white and black, after the death of 2 farmers that previous week. This happened in KwaZulu-Natal, which is an area in South Africa that my family is from. That is the story, period. Just look it up. Look it up. And so they, in front of the president of South Africa, they just lie and make up something that is with their narrative. By the way, Good morning. The only refugee that we allow into America is the only group of people that still practices apartheid. You understand that? It's the only group of people that still wants to say, we live here and black people aren't allowed in. That's the only group that's allowed with refugee status into America. Okay? And we invite their president in, and we say that this video is showing all of these white farmers that have died so that all of you think that there's a real big problem going on. Okay? I'm here to tell you, it's not like that. That is a made-up narrative to satisfy what they're doing, which I just told you, to make that seem justified. And you guys are eating it up. And to be honest, it's scary. And it's another cause for concern. We've already been in concern. Not you, I'm sure, but just another thing that I thought I would come in here and make a video about, because I am South African. It feels personal to me. See ya.
As long as he went through the proper, as long as he
came here legally. As long as Jesus Christ came to this country legally, we would let him in.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. No, thank you.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah. I feel like Jesus was kind of like a big open border socialist.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. Well, there are some things that,
Saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? As ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. What do you think it's about?
The only thing I can say is until we get our own people under control, I'm not worried about anybody outside this country.
We were talking about immigration. There were some parts in it that I thought were like pro-immigration.
They are. Jesus was an immigrant, right? Illegal immigrant?
No, he was born in Nazareth.
It was like an anchor baby.
Raised in Egypt. He did not apply for visas. He never came in through any country legally. If people come to our country and we don't give them home, we don't give them food, we don't give them water.
I'm going to assume that most Africans already know about this, but I'm quite sure that most people outside have no idea. And it blew my mind when I found out. When you look at most world maps, the continents that look the largest are North America and Europe, right? It's not at all accurate. It's actually a big lie. When you look at the landmass of each continent, all of the continents in the world can actually fit inside of Africa with room to spare. And I know it might not seem like it's that big of a deal. Like, what's the big deal? They're not correctly depicted on the world map. But it's done purposely, and it's done to downplay Africa. There's a subconscious thing that happens when you see Africa appearing small on the map and the other continents appearing much, much larger. Those are the powerful continents. That's what we believe subconsciously. And then the same is also true for seeing Africa be much, much smaller than it really is. Subconsciously, we downplay and we undermine the continent. It's absolutely insane the amount of brainwashing that goes on.
White nation!
White nation!
Now we start the deportation!
Now we start the deportation!
White nation!
White nation!
Close borders!
Close borders!
Now we start the deportation!
Now we start the deportation!
You're right, gentlemen.
Really?
The more the blacks go in, the more it's That's the truth, and you know it. The vast majority of people here are just afraid to say.
He's fine. He's racist piece of
He's a child.
Hey,
I didn't say anything to the thing.
We don't need to.
He's not a thing.
Go away. They're not a race.
Hey, you're a race.
The race is from Eurasia. Mankind is from Africa.
Come on, let's get your shoes.
You're a disgrace to society.
Walk away.
No.
Walk away.
I try to keep it clean. Can you imagine what this is going to be like once it's all taken over by that? Just a big ghetto.
You're filth.
Just a big ghetto.
You're.
You'll be. It won't matter. We'll all.
I don't even have words. I don't even know what to say about your kind.
My kind is all over. They're just afraid to say stuff.
Well, maybe they should be afraid.
No, I'm not.
Come on, you guys.
Obviously.
You have not.
I want soda. No.
Don't worry.
Stop scrolling. I don't care what you're doing. This matters.
Today, over 100 masked white supremacists from Patriot Front marched through the streets of Kansas City, Missouri, right in front of the Liberty Memorial. No notice, no opposition. And let me be absolutely clear. That was a white nationalist terror group in formation on your streets in broad daylight. These aren't cringy cosplayers. These are organized fascists. The same ones with ties to Charlottesville. The same ones training in the woods. The same ones whose entire existence exists around the next civil war. And today was a dry run. They moved with military precision. They wore matching uniforms. They filmed propaganda. And when it was over, they piled in a fucking U-Haul truck like some racist IKEA. And the KCPD did absolutely nothing. They just quote-unquote observed. Not a citation, not a detainment, nothing. Meanwhile, a black kid in a hoodie isn't able to stand on a corner without catching 5 cop cars and overhead helicopters. This is not free speech. This is not just a march. This is a coordinated act of intimidation. This was a recruitment video for a fascist uprising. And you're still sitting there saying it's not that deep? Well, congratulations, because that's the type of mindset that they're counting on. Because while you're distracted, they're organizing. And if you're not furious yet, you're already falling behind.
This one's for U-Haul. At this point, you guys have to realize that your trucks are transporting all of the Patriot Front marches. You're literally bringing Patriot Front and other Nazi organizations to their destinations. Maybe time to think about how that looks for your corporate image.
This past week, I posted a list of celebrities that support Trump and MAGA. That video was so popular and so many people asked me for a part 2, so here's part 2. She may be trans, but she does support Donald Trump, and that's Caitlyn Jenner. YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul supports Donald Trump. Sopranos alum Drea De Matteo supports Donald Trump. John Schneider supports Donald Trump. Brett Favre supports Donald Trump. SNL alumna Victoria Jackson supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Joe Exotic supports MAGA and Donald Trump. The wife of quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, supports Donald Trump. NASCAR race driver Danica Patrick supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Comedian Rob Schneider supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Kevin Sorbo, who played Hercules in the 90s, supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Rapper 50 Cent supports MAGA. WWF alum Hulk Hogan supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Rapper Lil Wayne supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Rapper Sexy Red supports Donald Trump and MAGA. Country singer Trace Atkins supports Donald Trump.
So yesterday in Missouri, hundreds of Patriot Front members packed in U-Hauls, unloaded, and marched through the streets, shouting their anti-Semitism and their hate. I sped that up for time, but I'm here to tell you there were hundreds of them. And the man who leads the Patriot Front is none other than Thomas Ryan Rousseau, who is at every single event. He wants the attention. He craves the attention. If you're asking for a contact, he will seek you out. He wants to be on camera. Meanwhile, the cops were present, watched these people illegally file into the back of U-Hauls, and did nothing about it. But in Seattle, and I will link the video for you, there was an anti-trans rally, and so there were anti-trans counter-protesters, people from our side who were there protesting, and when they were there protesting, the cops arrested them apparently without cause, and they were not told why they were arrested. They arrested more than 24 protesters. So why is it that the cops are not arresting Patriot Front members or ticketing them for obviously illegal activity, but in the very blue town of Seattle, the cops are arresting people without cause? We have an issue. So number one, I want to remind you guys that we need to get out in numbers. If you hear of an anti-trans protest coming up, make sure that everyone you know knows and that they're spreading it to everyone they know. And I need for you to contact U-Haul. This is the CEO of U-Haul. I did call this number, and it does go to his office, his direct line. And I wonder if they're aware, they have to be at this point, that the Patriot Front is using their vehicles to show up and terrorize towns and spread hate and white supremacy. So call Joe and make sure that he knows that if he doesn't put a stop to this, we're going to use Ryder or some other fucking company or borrow a friend's truck, but we'll go out of our way to not ever use U-Haul again. So we looked up U-Haul and Goods Unite Us, and you can see that they donate more so to democratic issues. I also find it very hard to believe that at this point in time, after 5 years of the Patriot Front using their vehicles to spread hate, that he doesn't know this is happening. It's time we put on some pressure.
The MAGA movement is a false god and is a false idol. And to let a picture prove my point, let's look at a picture that I would like to show you. The picture on the left is the ancient Israelites worshiping the golden calf. The picture on the right is the golden trump. This is an AI-generated video, image still, that was released by the White House about Trump's Gaza. That is, Trump's plan to get rid of Palestinians and to make Gaza into a resort. The MAGA movement is a false idol. Human beings want to do this, you see. We are given the path of love and liberation. We are given the path of progress. And all too often, the path that we choose is the path of regression.